Hello everyone, it's Melissa Faust from stampwithmelissa.com and welcome to today's craft and chat video. I am so excited for today's video. This is a really fun card. You guys, I don't know what's happening to me. I used to not be super into fun folds and 3D items, but oh my gosh, I've been having the time of my life with them lately and I don't think it's stopping. So, I am making a really fun card today. Now, this card is one that I received in a swap. I already sent out the swap card, so I can't show you that one. But this concept, this kind of fold, I received in a swap card back in August when I was in Utah for Rhonda Wade's event, demonstrator event there. So I received that and I sent it out for Christmas and I thought, oh, I want to learn how to make that. So I found it. I Googled the heck out of any possible combination of words I could figure out. And I found Chris Sloger is the demonstrator's name who I found some measurements from. I don't know if Chris is the original on this or not, but that's who I found, and she did her post back in 2021. So this fold has been around for at least a couple of years, maybe longer than that. Maybe you're familiar with it and maybe not. But today we are going to make this card right here. It is a card that's actually for my mail lady because, you know, she needs a little Christmas cheer. And I'm really appreciative of all she does for me all year long with delivering and picking up so many packages and letters and cards and all that good stuff. So this is her card, and look at what it does. Isn't that so cool? So it actually folds flat. I can show you really good at this angle. It folds flat and it pops up and you can fit a gift card inside. So let me slip this in here real quick so you can see that. So you can see it'll close shut with that gift card and it will open right back up and pop that gift card up. How stinking cool is that? So we are gonna go ahead and make this card. Now I wanted to just mention to you, all of the photos, measurements, and supplies will be linked on my blog. So check out the link to that in the description below this video. Scroll down. You know, you might have to click like more info or something and go over to my blog post for that. I am going to give measurements during today's video, but I know sometimes it's just easier to read them. You will definitely want to refer to the video though on like how to glue everything together. That's easier to show than to describe in words on a website. So, all right, so let's go ahead. I'm going to hook my camera up and we are going to get started making this super fun card. So for this project today, I am using the Reindeer Fun Bundle. Now, just pre-warning, my craft and chat videos are pre-recorded. So at the time I'm filming this, this is still available. However, this awesome bundle is on the last chance list. It's got goop on the side if you're wondering what I'm doing. It is on the last chance list, which means it is leaving us. So I would highly recommend, at least, I mean, if you don't like the dies or the stamps, I don't know, but this sheet of dies here, like all of these come together. The dies are worth it alone, in my opinion. The stamp set obviously is an added bonus, and you've got some images that cut out those pieces. But yeah, anyway, so I haven't mounted stamps yet. I think I'm going to use just Merry Christmas and then May Your Days Be Filled with Cheer. Otherwise, I am using the dies. So let's go ahead and just mount these quick. I'm not sure yet what colors we'll go with, but you know, we'll figure it out together. Okay, so let's take a look here at just a few of the pieces. I'm going to introduce pieces as needed. So I'm going to do a garden green card base for this card. This is just a standard card base, so 8.5 by 5.5, scored in half at 4 1/4. Again, measurements are on my blog post, linked down in the I cannot talk sometimes. Down in the description below this video. But I did already score this, okay? So I'm just going to set this over to the side, and we are going to make the box first, and then we'll start assembling everything. So I am using the Reindeer Days designer series paper. It's super duper stinking cute. And this, I'm just checking my measurements off on the side in case I'm, you know, if you're like, oh, I don't know, whatever. Anyway, so this is 4 1/4 by 7.5, okay? So I'm going to actually turn this. You can tell mine's directional. I want to score it 1/2 inch first, and I like to do that on the right side of my trimmer. So I'm doing it upside down so that everything flows naturally. Now I'm going over with my scoring blade a lot of times because with DSP it is thinner. So if you press too hard with your scoring blade, you could cut your paper. So to avoid that, I just press a lot. Okay. All right. So we've got 1/2 inch. Then we're going to go 2 1/4. 4. And finally, we are going to go 5 3/4. Alrighty, so half, 2 1/4, 4, 5 3/4. Then we need to do the other parts here. So I'm going to turn this so that 1/2 inch flap is at the top of my trimmer, and we are going to score at 1 3/4 and 3 1/2. So whatever you want your bottom to be is this 1 3/4 inch section. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead then. We've got that. One other thing that we will need to score is a piece of paper. This can be DSP, it can be same pattern, different pattern, it can be cardstock, whatever you want it to be. But this is 5 1/2 inches by 3/4 inches. We are going to score this in half at 2 3/4. And then we're going to score each end at 1/2 inch. So in that blog post, I'll have actual scores for you, but that's just easiest to say out loud. So, all right. So we can close up that trimmer, move it aside, and let's go ahead. We're going to take that DSP. We're going to burnish all of our score lines here. So I've just got my bone folder here, just reinforcing this is going to be a box. So for these long edges here, they're all going to go the same way. Okay. And then this top section here, the skinny section, that's going to fold back. Now yours might look a little funny, right? Like my reindeer are upside down, but my presents are right side up. So I don't know. It's, you win some, you lose some. Doesn't really matter though. And then I'm going to fold this section. That's the one thing. Sometimes I know that there's like a right and a wrong way to score, but a lot of times I'll get questions of like, oh, well, how do you know? And the honest answer is I don't really know. I'm pretty sure it's opposite of what you think, right? So this is in, like this is a valley, right? This is the bump. So that's the non-bump. And I'm pretty sure you go opposite of what you would like normally think, but honestly, it folds the same to me. So don't come at me if you disagree. But to me, it folds the same. So I'm like, whatever. All right. So we're going to do some cutting. Now there is also a diagram on my blog post. Oh my gosh, I didn't even mention yet. This is from, I have to find her name. Hold on. This is from Chris Slogar, who I learned this fold from. So thank you, Chris, for sharing this. All right. So this bottom section here, you can see it easier when I have the reindeer side. So this little rectangle, we're going to cut away, and this little rectangle, we're going to cut away. All right. So when I was in Utah over the summer for Rhonda Wade's event, I received a swap card, and I believe it was from Melanie Foy. And the swap card, for this little 1/2 inch tab, I am mitering the edges a little bit, but then with the rest of it, I'm going straight on, just so you know. The swap card was so cool, and it was this fold, and so I had to figure out how to make it because I just thought it was really neat. So, okay, so up at this top section here, we're just going to cut on these score lines, just cut straight. This is going to become like the, you know, the box flaps, like if you got an actual package. So no need to miter these. They're just going to be cut straight because they're going to fold back, right? Okay, so for this bottom section, these are these square pieces here. These are 1 3/4 inch tall and then all the way across. We've got a score line here. So 1 left to right. We're just going to do this for ease here. We've got 1, 2, and 3. Okay, we are going to cut up 1, cut up 3, cut across, get rid of that middle section here, all right? Again, I do have a diagram on my blog, so if you would like to see that visually, you can head over to the link in the description to view that. All right, so I trimmed up there, and then we're going to cut across. I love this reindeer paper too because so many of these patterns are not reindeer themed. Like they're just so cute. Okay, so this is what we've got right now. All right, so this bigger piece I'm going to probably save for something else, but those other pieces are just scrap. All right, so we've got this little 1/2 inch tab. These are all cut but intact, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to cut up, so inside bottom to outside upper. Does that make sense? And you can use your snips or your trimmer for this. I'm going to use my trimmer because I struggle with fussy cutting. I'm not the the best. So I've got that inside bottom to the outside upper, that's just the score line right here, lined up in my track. Again, you can use your snips, and we're just going to trim that edge off. Okay, so we've got that little rectangle, and we're going to do the same thing with this side over here. So inside bottom, and I'm going to even fold this 1/2 inch tab slash flap. I'm going to fold it back so I don't accidentally cut it. Wow, words are hard. Okay, and cut. All right, so that's what we've got. Let me just move this out of the way so you can view that. Right, so that is what our piece looks like there. Now for this guy, we're just gonna fold in half, and then these little 1/2 inch ones will fold back. Okay, we'll come back to this later, but this is what's gonna keep our gift card in place inside of the box. All right, so we've got these guys. I'm gonna move them off to the side for now, and we're actually going to take a look at the inside of the card because we need to get the inside of the card done before we can add the box, okay? So I have just got a basic white piece 4 by 5 1/4, and these are just, this is a 1/2 inch strip of DSP that I had left over, and this is a 5/8 inch piece of garden green. You can do whatever you want for the inside. This is what I chose to do. So I'm just going to add some seal on the back of that DSP. Line this up here on my garden green just for a little mat. And this is just decoration for the inside of the card. All right, pulling this basic white piece. I'll put this towards the bottom. I know it's not going to reach all the way across the bottom, but that's all right. We'll do it like that. Trim off the excess. And then I do want to add a sentiment on the inside. This card is actually going to my mail lady. So let's do real red, and then we're going to do that. I'm trying to decide because for the outside, I don't know if we want the bigger one, may all your days be full of cheer, and then inside says Merry Christmas. I think that's what we're going to do. So we have a little bit more space to write inside. That box is going to take up some of the space. So I am going to put this down a little bit farther than maybe you normally would, and that is intentional, okay? You'll see. All right, that sounded like evil, like you'll see. All right, seal on the back of this, and then this is going to go inside of the card here, and then we can fold this. So I guess I do have a preference because I flipped that. I guess I do have a preference for my scores, but I don't think it really matters. But anyway, so there's the inside of the card there, okay? All right, so let's go ahead and do some box assembly here. We are going to start with this little 1/2 inch tab. Now you can use liquid glue if you would like. We are going to use liquid glue in a little bit. I like tear and tape, but for one of the things we're going to do, I think liquid glue is actually easier. I know, mark my words. You never thought you would hear me say that, right? Right. Yeah, I said it. Okay, so let's just peel off that tear and tape backing here. That's just on that little 1/2 inch tab. I'm going to flip this over to fold in and fold because I like to do it when it's flat if I can. Okay. All right. These box tab pieces, I am just going to extra reinforce. Sometimes they like to just get in the way. So it's just a little bit easier right now just to say, hey, this is the way you're going. Okay. Okay. All right. So we've got that. So you can see here, this creates a box, right? We've got these triangles down here that are kind of funny, but whoops. When they come together, you can see that makes the bottom of the box, right? We need our box to be flat. Look, that almost lines up. We need our box to be flat when the card is closed, right? So I know it looks a little bit funny. This is actually how it's going to go, where they kind of meet together. It looks a little bit funny, but just trust the process, okay? But before we do that, let's go ahead and add this. Now, this is going to keep our gift card in place. And again, this was all thanks to Chris. So thank you, Chris, for sharing this. And we're going to use our liquid glue. And I'm just, you can see kind of here how I have this, right? So that makes a T. So on these little outer 1/2 inch flaps, I'm just going to add some liquid glue, and I'm probably going to get it all over my fingers. It's okay. And what I'm going to do is right here, we've got this seam, right? You can see that 1/2 inch seam right there. It's also the point where those two triangles meet. And that is where we're going to put in this little guy. So just feed in one side feet in the other. Hopefully it picks up okay on video. And I'm putting it not right on the score line, just a smidge below the score line. Okay, and then just wiggle that well. That's the one perk, I guess, for liquid glue is you can maneuver things. You have extra time. So you can see there, right? Like when that's all together, that's going to help hold that gift card in place. It's not a necessary step, but it does help here, okay? All right, so there's that, and then I do have a sample gift card, just so you can kind of see if this slips in here. So you can see how that holds it across the box, right? So, and make sure it doesn't peek through the bottom for this next part. All right, we're just gonna take it out because, no, we're not. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're going to have this diagonal side, right, be across. So if you're a math person like I am, the hypotenuse here is going to go across the top. And this is actually going to line up on the score line. We're making sure, like, you don't want to do it like this because then you know your gift card's going to come off the edge. So it's going over towards the left. It doesn't need to go all the way to the corner, but kind of over to the left. And you can see here, we've got that butted up against the score line, so then when it closes, it will be attached like so, okay? I am gonna leave the gift card in for just a minute, that's just personal preference, but on this little triangle piece, I'm gonna add some liquid glue, close the card, okay? Flip it over, open this up, it's already in place, because we glued down the other side, so I'm going to add glue on this side and close this over. Okay, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to take one of my blocks here. I'm just going to set it on top just so there's something holding it down, because you guys know I'm a tape girl. While that's drying, we can go ahead and decorate. So I did already envision this in my head, so I do have a plan for decorating. So I've got a garden green piece here that's 5.5 by 4.25, embossed with the Forever Plaid embossing folder. By the way, if you don't own that embossing folder, you need it. I've also got a basic white die cut piece here from the Perennial Postage dies. I thought that would be kind of fun for layering. And then I've got a bunch of pieces here from that Reindeer Fun bundle. So I've got Early Espresso, basic white, and pecan pie. That's to make our reindeer. Okay, and then we've got a granny apple green wreath and a cute little real red bow here. So what we're going to do is we're going to assemble this reindeer together, and I'm going to use my silicone craft mat to do this. Flip over the white and the pecan pie and add some adhesive, and I'm going to use seal, but I've got my silicone craft mat here, so just in case I go, you know, out of line here over the edge, then I've got that silicone mat to help me keep the sticky stuff where I want it. All right, so we'll start with this basic white and lay this. Now that bottom edge here is going to line up perfectly with the Early Espresso piece so that we've got the eyes and the nose and the antlers sneaking out. And then we're going to take that pecan pie, and again, kind of the roundness of the face is going to line up. And it's going to leave you those little, I don't want to call it a slit, but you know, like a little slit for the eyeballs. Isn't that so stinking adorable? I love it. I think it's so cute. All right, and then we can add on our little wreath here. So I just kind of tuck that in like it's a hula hoop. Okay, so we're going to add just a little bit of seal up at the top here. And then we can add maybe just a little smidge right there, kind of on the belly. And if it's too much, like if it goes over, we can fix it. And we'll just tuck this in and help it to adhere. Okay, so I was mentioning earlier that this card is for my mail lady. There's a little bit of exposed adhesive here, so I'll just curl it with my finger to get that to go away. This is for my mail lady. She is awesome. Obviously, I send out a lot of cards and get a lot of packages. And so I just really appreciate her. So we got her a gift card for Christmas. And this is going to be her card that she can get it in. And I thought it was perfect, right? Because it's a card, but it has that box element inside of it, right? And she delivers boxes to me all the time. So you see my logic there? All right, so that is so super cute. And he's going to come on here, but we're going to stamp this sentiment on So we just have to figure out if this goes, I know it's upside down, but if that goes in the center, maybe that can go there. That would be cute, because it's a little bit too long, I think, to go off to the side and have this be over here. I mean, it would work. It could work. Yeah, that might work. I think I prefer that. Okay, so I'm going to use Real Red ink again to do that. Anyway, so kind of the cool thing is a few years ago, I got my mail lady a gift card, and they have these cute little thank you notes that they write back, which I didn't know that at the time. And I found out that her name is Helen, my mail lady. Her name is Helen. And I thought that was really cool. I'm going to share a little story. I thought that was really cool because that was actually my grandma's name, and my grandma has since passed, but she loved to send cards. You have to wait for the wow factor. First, we're going to add everything, but I'm going to actually put my seal right on my card front here. She loved to send cards, and I think that's where I actually got my card making, like, love from, I guess. And it's kind of interesting too, because I actually, when I was 18, I became a demonstrator because I was going to college, and honestly, I was like, it makes absolutely no sense that I would pay full price for my stamps when I could get them at a discount. And that was truly all the logic I needed was, well, why wouldn't I get a discount? So I signed up when I was 18, and I wasn't super duper active, but I signed up in March of 2016. And then in December of 2016, I turned 19. And on my 19th birthday, my grandma, Helen, actually passed away. So it's kind of interesting how it all sort of came to fruition, right? I do have aunts and uncles who will send like birthday cards and things out now, but I think it's almost like I've taken that role, I guess. And it was unintentional. It's not like it was forced upon me. Like nobody was like, okay, you're the card person now, right? But it just kind of naturally happened. And I just think life is so interesting sometimes like that. So I don't know, a few years ago, Helen, my mail lady, wrote me a thank you card, and I saw her name was Helen, and I was like, oh my gosh, is this like a God sign or what? Like, and if you're not religious, maybe you don't think so, but I am. And so I don't know, it was something, I was like, wow, that's just, it's not a coincidence, right? Like I was like, this is cool. This is pretty epic. So anyway, so that's my little story. This is Helen's card. And yeah, I think it's cute. So I added the postage die cut here. I almost said stamp. Oh my gosh, I didn't even think about this. This is for my mail lady. This was a coincidence too. This is for my mail lady, and I used the postage dies. That was me doing like facepalm. And then I added the reindeer up on dimensionals too. Of course, we need some embellishments. I'm going to use these textured dots. I swear these are like some of my favorite things ever. If you guys remember, a few years ago we had, I think they were called rustic dots, and I use them all the dang time because I love them. They're just the best. And so these have become my replacement. All right. I just added a couple of those on there because I just think that they're cute. So that is that. And then are you ready? Wha-bam! Look at that! Isn't that so stinking cool? So then that closes shut here. Now I am going to show you a sample of one that I made with some other stuff. And then, you know, her gift card will go in there. She's not getting this one. This one is used and doesn't work anymore, but she's got one that does. But that's kind of fun to see the reindeer in there too. That's really cute because it ties together. So the sample one I'm going to show you though, I wanted to just mention this. So these flaps here, they were like fighting to close and they wouldn't close. So I just wanted to, that's why I reinforced these this time before gluing this in with that bone folder. But if you're having that problem, you could go ahead and now I didn't try it, but I was thinking if you put a dimensional under here, then it would still kind of keep some flappiness, right? It would still stick out a little bit, but it wouldn't be, it would be thicker. So for me, like this is going in the mailbox, but it's not going with a stamp. It's going like directly to my mail lady. So if this was something that you were going to hand deliver, I don't think it would matter how thick it is, right? But yeah, just keep that in mind if you are going to mail it. But how stinking cute is that? Isn't that just the coolest thing ever? I am in love. I love it. Okay, so I wanted to just mention really quick that obviously I'm a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. So if a lot of the product I use, this Reindeer Fun Bundle, the Reindeer Days Designer Series paper, it's all on the last chance list, okay? I am going to put a link to it down in the description box below, but obviously by the time you're watching this, there's no guarantees that it's still available. But there are plenty of other really awesome patterned papers and bundles that are available. And you might want to make this with non-Christmas because Christmas is almost here. So at least at the time that this is posting. So anyway, that one is super duper fun. Now the next card I'm going to show you is actually a sneak peek of product that is coming out in the January through April 2025 mini catalog. So again, at the time that I'm filming and posting, this is not available to customers yet. So I can't quite link these products for you. But I can come back, you know, in the new year and do it then. So this is the other version I made. This is the first one I made. So this is the Ocean Friends bundle. Let me show this to you. So this is so stinking cute. Very, very fun ocean set because it's not very nautical colors. It's got your like hot pinks, right? Like your melon mambo. It's got your oranges like pumpkin pie. It does have summer splash. A lot of fun colors. There's not a lot of like lagoon and navy and poppy parade, you know, there's not a lot of those kinds of colors, but you can see these stamped images are quite large. You've got that fill-in stamp, you've got the outline stamp, you've got some sentiments, and again you've got some dies, these two dies that will cut out your stamped images, as well as some extras here. So super duper awesome bundle, super excited for it. So that is this one. I used Melon Mambo, and then this is the swirly folder in the background here. Again, Summer Splash, Pretty in Pink, Calypso Coral, Summer Splash for that sentiment there. And then, are you ready for this? Ah, isn't that so stinking cute? So I got to give you a better look at that DSP. The DSP is so pretty. And like I said, it's not your traditional ocean colors. You can kind of see it on the inside here. It is a super, super fun paper. So that's kind of like a fun pinky wave on the outside, and then you've got your, you know, pumpkin pie seahorse and Calypso Coral squid and lemon lime twist sand dollars and all that good stuff. So that is this card. Super duper awesome. So look for this stuff starting on January 7th, 2025, or you can add it in a starter kit now if you want to get your hands on it. But super duper fun card. Thank you again to Chris Sloger for she's the original one with measurements and all that good stuff. And then again to Melanie for, you know, making one of these, because otherwise I don't think I would have ever seen it. So I'm glad I got one as a swap card. So there is that card. I will have pictures of both of these on my blog post that's linked in the description below this video. And yeah, if you enjoyed today's video, please give it a big thumbs up and subscribe to my YouTube channel if you haven't already. That really helps me out on YouTube. And what else do I want to tell you? Oh, the blog link will also have the measurements. So if you don't want to write them down during the video, you can go ahead and check out that blog post for those measurements. So, all right, thanks so much for watching, and I will catch you next time. Bye for now.